Peace and power, universals. Happy, what day is it today? Wednesday? Or peace over whatever day this video so happens to find you. Everything's a blur, right? Yes, peace to the room and tranquility over you and all of your houses. May the anointing wash over me and the message that's been laid upon me to deliver. Do I have a title? I guess if I were to entitle this message, it would be I, you are not a mission. Let me say that again. I, you are not someone else's mission. What do I mean? The other day I had to deliver some news to someone I haven't spoken with in like 5 years. But I felt the information I needed to relay, or the message relayed, it was needed, and the person had the right to be given this information. And it wasn't good news. Unfortunately, it wasn't good news. But anyway, whether it's the Christian faith or whatever practice you observe, it can be very pretentious, presumptuous, condescending to immediately, especially if you haven't corresponded in some time, or if you talk every day, it doesn't matter, to assume that you are in a place in your walk that you need fixing, that, how is it again? Generational curses need to be broken. As if you're not doing the work already, or if the work hasn't already been done. You know, it's like, how do they say, preaching to the choir? But I digress. One's soul contract is their soul contract. I find that, and I used to be this way, not to that degree, but decades ago, when I was under a certain umbrella of practice, you know, people were my mission, to my own detriment, because of this way of thinking, making everyone else my mission. It ended up tearing away at the very fabric of my being. So I had to get back to one. I had to get back to one. Right? The divine, the supreme intelligence within me, acknowledging the higher intelligence, the unseen, that I've not yet come to completely understand, and overstand. The funny thing is, a lot of times, you know, those who people view or assume isn't on their path, that they assume are lost, have already been where they're at already. Been there, done that. One thing about me, I don't scroll my resume, and I'm not just talking about uh, employment. I don't scroll everything to the public. And a lot of times, assumptions that people make, I let them stay right there with their assumptions. Depending on what type of relationship we have, if it's something that I feel needs to be corrected, I'll do it. And sometimes I'll just let it sit. I'll let you go with whatever theory about me that you have. And that's the place where it'd be great if most people got to. You haven't anything to prove to anyone. Nothing. Proof for what? For ego? Honey, that doesn't put the food on the table. It doesn't pay the bills. What does it do to edify you? What this one or that one thinks. Um, there are often times, in fact, and you could call it a test, if you will. You don't allow everyone in the innermost sanctuary. Okay? That's not for everybody. And those coming in a spirit of wanting to be in the inner sanctum, sometimes you throw out something to see what happens with it. You take a small, humble something that you're entrusted with. And to the next person, it might look like nothing. But you nurture and care for that thing. And when you love on and nurture that thing, you will have doors open and favor rain down upon you with things greater than you didn't even know you needed or even wanted. And that's what's great about not coveting or not desiring after the shiny thing. Not that there's anything wrong with shiny things. Don't get me wrong. Because another myth that needs to be dispelled is just because you are aware, enlightened to your path, doesn't mean you must live in squalor. Again, to prove what? It's as though poverty or whatever is a badge of honor. My pain tolerance is high. For the next person, they might have a low pain tolerance. That doesn't make my head higher than the next. My inner workings and experience dealing with certain things, just my DNA is different. But that doesn't make my head higher than yours. there are things that you might be able to intake and it be edifying and help you. It might be toxic for me. That doesn't make your head higher than mine. We have to get back to or discover appreciating and respecting one another's sanctuary. The constant feeling of needing to be needed, wanting to be needed. You are no one's mission. And there might be stages in your life, points in your life, however brief or however long, that you might be. At some point in your life, you will need something from someone because you don't do it alone. You might have to walk the walk alone. However, just how I'm speaking to you right now, there are different mechanisms and platforms and things firing off to make this happen. I couldn't do this alone. You understand? So I guess I could go deeper. You know, if you don't grow your own food and you travel to the supermarket, whether it's the car you drive, motorcycle, bike, walk, there's a road. There's a road that hopefully is being kept, right? There's upkeep for that road. There is a store. There are workers in the store. There are people who stock the shelves. There are so many different uh, pegs, so many different things going on that makes this whole thing work. Even if you grow your own food, where are you getting your seed? Where does it start? It starts somewhere. What came first, the chicken or the egg? People say, oh, well, I used seeds, for instance, from a tomato and I planted it and grew this. Okay, fine. Where'd you get the tomato? Where'd the first tomato come from? It came from somewhere. Oh, someone gave you the tomato. Well, where did they get the tomato from? Pull the layers back. Where did it begin? Something was purchased somewhere. It started somewhere. So in any case, we are interwoven with each other. We're not an island. Though a lot of times it feels like it. And it's okay. It's okay to enjoy your own company. It's okay to be content in your solitude. But just having the understanding that you are not and don't do what you do totally alone, by yourself. There are energies, seen and unseen, that make it all happen. So knowing that I've gone off on a tangent, what is your mission? Not who is your mission. Are you teaching or living your example out, whether it is how you eat, how you groom yourself, what you don't ingest, what you don't topically put on your body, the why behind it and how it works for you. Are you doing that because you want better for the next person, or are you doing that to self-gratify, or both, or both? Not everybody is on drugs. Not everyone has ever touched drugs. What is a drug? What is a drug? You know what I mean. You know exactly what I mean. And it's easy to get a jaded perspective, no matter how clear you think your mind is or elevated. Everyone comes with different experiences, uh, different ways they grew up. Not everyone grew up in a ghetto. Not everyone grew up in the suburbs. Again, no head is higher than the other. But in saying that, you have to understand the different perspectives. Okay? So, for instance, my deceased husband, he was a junkie. I'll say it. He was a junkie. Did he become my mission? Yes, he became my mission. Okay? And I was blessed beyond my wildest dreams. At the same time, it caused me to slide down the mountain. I cannot walk in the shoes of someone who battles that issue because I've never had it. I've never had it. Yes, and we can theorize and, you know, get psychological about different vices people have or whatever. Listen, no one has time to play games. You know exactly what I'm talking about. So, because I don't smoke, not alcoholic, don't do recreational drugs. In fact, you know what? I don't even have to lay out what I don't do. What I'm saying is, if you've been incarcerated, if you are in recovery, which I believe is a lifelong journey, some may say, oh, I've been delivered from this. Don't sleep on yourself. I mean, those with decades under their belt of sobriety, I commend you, but don't ever become lax. Okay? Because just like that, you can slip. I've seen it. I've seen it. And I find that the most religious, whatever religion that is, the most devout people out there have those demons that they're trying to smash down. Okay? Because they have been unable to master, or dare I say, tame the demon. learn the demon, master the demon. And that's, I say demon because it's lack of a better term. I'm speaking in a way that I think you'll understand what I mean. Because what you call a demon is someone else's angel. And again, whatever angelic is to you. We all have been programmed into believing that this is that way with these white wings, and this is that way with horns, and it's red with a... Once we get past all of that and dig deeper, pull the layers after layer after layer after layer back and get into history and stop being spoon-fed and being sheeple. And think, because I have this piece of paper, therefore I am... No, dearie. No. I have degree. I have licensing. I've mastered certain things. Have I mastered all things? Hell no. And I'd be a lie if I say I did. What do they say? Jack of all trades, master of none. Right now I'm currently undoing, redoing something that a so-called professional or a skilled person was supposed to take care of. And either they blatantly just didn't take care of it, or they didn't know what they were doing. I don't know. But anyway, to err is human. We'll say that. I laugh because oftentimes when we come across stumbling blocks, they're blessings. They're blessings because it stretches you and it makes you do the things that you did not feel you were capable of doing on your own. So why be angry? Say thank you. Thank you. Ah, be your own mission. Be your own mission. And let your walk. There's so many beautiful brothers and sisters out there that I don't interact with on a regular. They touch my life in ways they haven't any idea. Any idea. And I hope that I do the same for others. I know that I do. I know that I do. I've said this before. It was probably on an older account. But even with the jewelry that I make, I laugh because when I get orders that I'll say in bulk or multiple orders, I don't duplicate anything. And the person who buys, they buy for their own inventory and are selling it as their own. And I see people wearing my creations. Does it bother me that I don't get the credit for that? No. Why would it bother me when I've been paid? I've been paid. Once once it's out of my hands, you're free to do with what you want. I had a property once that I owned, and the person flipped the house and made sweet dollar off of it. Why am I going to be mad? I got what I needed and wanted out of the deal. Why am I going to be mad? At first, I was like, but I had to release that. It's like, what the hell, you know? And that's another thing that's been put in us, man. That, oh, if the next person has an extra kernel of corn on their plate, we feel some sort of way about it. Why? Have you been fed? Are you full? Then why do you care? Why do you care? So anyway, I know I've been all over the place or whatever. Be your own mission. Be your own mission. Recognize that the game or the books that you've read and think that you've learned how to game something, the next person has already moved 3 moves ahead. Okay? So the best thing you can do is you. The best thing you can do is you. Alright? So with that, find your bliss. Stay in your bliss. Watch when you have to say no. And when you say no, how things change. Recognize my sister, Master Fundifi, has taught us certain things, and I'm grateful, very grateful for her. Very wise, very wise. But quoting one of the things she has taught from things she has studied, pay attention to the slightest change. Okay. Too many coincidences becomes not so much a coincidence. That's mine. That's mine. But yeah, pay attention to the slightest change. And don't be afraid to ask yourself or whatever's changing the why behind it. Don't be spoon-fed. Don't be spoon-fed anything. And if anyone ever has a problem with you asking the why behind it, that's a red flag. In whatever type of situation or relationship it is, it's a red flag. No one is infallible. Many of times I have welcomed people. Ask, come to the table. Let's lay it out. Not with conjecture, with hardcore facts. I'm still waiting. Well, no, I'm not waiting. When I say I'm still waiting, I'm saying that to say that it's never happened, but I'm not waiting. I mean, we move along. But in any case, be your mission. edify yourself, break that box that either you or someone else has placed you in. And also understand that you do not need to announce or give explanation when you need your solitude. And you must nourish yourself. If you are not in a headspace of multitasking, when you have to totally meditate and tune in, there's a small group of people, if you will, that need to know that, just so that they know that you're okay and alive and well. But otherwise, you don't know it. You don't owe anyone an explanation unless you're accountable to them for something. Obviously, like if you work for someone else, you can't just disappear. You can't go AWOL on them. But yeah, it's okay to go within and not be on the screen. It's okay. It's okay to be you. For you. And those in your care. It's okay. Yeah. To hell with what anyone says. Because you know what? They're gonna say it anyway. They're gonna do it anyway. So why stress and why fret? Anyway, I've been on here way too long. And I got things to do. Even if that's just sitting on my ass and meditating. Because you know what? It does the body good. My name is Trinia Murphy, and I am Ponder Qwan. Be the light to those who need to feel the warmth of your shine, and know when to be darkness to those who need to feel the cool of your shade.